Can I be honest with you? I have felt a tug on my heart for months now. I've tried to ignore it, and I keep doing what I've been doing for the past 5 years. And today I think it's finally time to just say it out loud. I built this channel to share with you my experience as a cradle Catholic who discovered traditional Catholicism later in life. I had no idea about the Latin Mass, yet this one part of our faith has so forever transformed me, my husband, my marriage, our children, and I've been so passionate about that, talking about veiling and missals and how to do all the things in the Latin Mass. And that kind of content, I'm not going to tell you is going to go anywhere. I'm still going to make videos on those topics. But I think that there's something that's been missing in this space. There are plenty of channels to teach you about homemaking and cooking and homeschooling. But I think that there is a void, a place for Catholic women to talk about issues that really affect their marriages. There's so much more that goes into a Catholic marriage than homeschooling and cleaning and cooking and rearing children. Because a lot of those things, especially as they pertain to your children, will not be with your marriage forever. There is going to come a point, and I'm in that point now, where your children have grown up. There's no more homeschool. There's no more sports and all the things that keep us busy in our marriages. And it's just you and your husband. And if you haven't taken the time to cultivate this relationship, this marriage with him, not just as partners, as parents, but as a couple, you'll be looking across the table from this man and thinking, we're just roommates. And there is nothing more horrifying to me than being my husband's roommate. In the years that I've been in this space, I've received so many messages from Catholic wives who are hurting, who feel like they're doing all the things. They're veiling and going to Mass and praying the rosary and having the babies and homeschooling, everything that they think that they can do, but they still feel lonely in their marriages. And I really want to speak to them and help them. And I want to help the younger wives avoid those issues. So many times wives crave more intimacy and connection with their spouses, but they're not sure how to ask for that. And I think as the years go on, it gets harder and harder because you fall into these patterns and you don't know how really to break them. And then you just end up being roommates. So many people just wonder, is this what it's supposed to be like? Is it supposed to feel this way? And I think a lot of marriage is dying to self. And I think that it is the primary purpose is to get your spouse to heaven. And we should absolutely let that be the focus. And I'll be honest with you, one of the hardest parts of a Catholic marriage is submission. It isn't something that's come easy to me, and it has been something since we've come into the traditional Latin Mass that has been more top of mind for me. And it's still something that I struggle with, and I don't know if you struggle with that as well, but it's going to be a topic that we're going to discuss on this channel going forward. You know, one of the easiest ways to submit to your husband is to trust him, to be under his mission for your family. And I'm trying so hard as a Catholic wife to always do that, to remember that my husband is trying to the best of his ability to lead our family, to provide for our family, to protect our family, and to not be a hindrance to him. What happens when you're being submissive and you're doing all the things that you think you're supposed to do and you still feel disconnected? I've been through a lot of hard seasons in my marriage. And I want to speak into those. I want to share them with you in hopes that they'll help you. Not as a counselor, not as a perfect wife by any stretch, but as a sister who sees you. I'm shifting this channel because I think that we need a space where Catholic wives can talk about these issues without feeling judged or embarrassed. I want to talk about how do you reignite the spark in your marriage when you've been married for so long. We can talk about submission and joy and serving our spouses, where we can honor our vows as Catholic wives. I just want to say, disclaimer, I'm not starting this pivot or talking about these topics because my own marriage is in crisis. I'm doing it because I have felt this tug on my heart to start stepping into a space where I can really help other Catholic women. And the verse in Titus that speaks to this about the older women really helping the younger women has been at the forefront of my mind for a long time. And I've kind of tried to push it to the side and focus more on talking just about the Latin Mass. But I think that the time has come where I need to start talking more about being a Catholic wife on this channel. Moving forward, what are you going to see on this channel? We're going to have faithful, tradition-rooted conversations about sacramental Catholic marriage. And if you're not in a sacramental Catholic marriage, what can you do about it? We'll talk about how you can get your marriage valid in the eyes of God and the church, about submission and romance, and how to be really united with your spouse. Share some tools and ideas on how to rebuild intimacy in your marriages. And there will be endless free resources for you that I will share. So if you've ever felt like a roommate with your husband, you've ever felt like you were the only Catholic wife who is getting it wrong and weren't sure who to ask or who to talk to about it, not alone. Next video, we are going to be talking about why Catholic wives feel so disconnected and how we start healing from that. So until next time, take care and God bless.